So we've got Ghost here doing a building session on legend basis.
Yeah, we're gonna do two. I think the first one just gonna mainly look at early Legends League, kind of like a 2.5, AT 2.5 kind of box space ring. And the second one we're gonna look more into upper Legends above 5500 range. Alright, so for the first one, 2.5, there's like a style that I've had pretty much a good success with. It's kind of center, town hall, and flanks, bomb towers. And then scatters as well. I have pretty good defenses with these recently. So we're gonna start with the core. Now, a lot of the box spaces spring usually have like compact cores where you have all accessible defenses like this and the eagle in the core, but I'm gonna work around it this time and kind of not do all that because it's pretty common. Perfect.
By the way, if any of you have questions at any point, just message him and we'll ask him to Ghost.
Definitely, for sure. Alright, so I'm gonna have like a core, something like this along the ways. I don't want too much good value in the core, especially if you like cloning loons, because in the early phases of Legends, there's a lot of spam attacks. So I'm gonna mainly focus on those attacks, and we can work along the way to stop the other hits.
So a question from Forrest is, which attack is the hardest to bait/build against?
In terms of like low Legends, I feel like air spam is popular down there, and then like random Yeti smash P.E.K.K.A.s or regular bowlers. Those would be the main attacks to look at. Oh, so what I'm doing is like making it a hard push for any smash. This is what I'm working with right now. Not too much you can reach from the Town Hall compartment itself. So I'm looking at an eagle somewhere around right here. You can't reach it in the Town Hall compartment, neither you can reach the Town Hall from the eagle compartment. It kind of forces a jump, and it's hard to wall break or get any troops to go into the core unless you have a jump. And then on the opposite flank, I'm thinking about Inferno complex somewhere right here, which is a good, like I mentioned, same concept idea with the eagles. It's another flank for the Town Hall compartment, and you can't reach the Town Hall from that compartment, neither you can reach the multi from that compartment as well. So sweeper wise, I think the most protected option is gonna be right here and right here as well. So it protects both sides, no matter which angle you go from with any air spam. But we'll focus more on the ranges as I get everything down. Alright, so for the expos, I'm kind of trying to spread the DPS around. That way it's not like it all compacted and makes the base like one weak point to one area and there's like no weak points to the other side. So I'm trying to make the DPS spread out a little bit, just so there's not like easy SUI values or anything for heroes to walk around the base. So I'm trying to protect this Inferno compartment. I think I'm going to do a single. I'm going to try this out. I'll leave this single then. Yeah, so these closed walls just make it so you can't reach the town hall. If someone breaks here, yeah, you won't be able to reach the single from there. And likewise for the other side. And that's the purpose for this wall as well, just so you can't get too much value in here. So for me, what I've had success with on the flanks of the Inferno is the air defense compartments, especially with air spam now. The change values for the Super Dragon is pretty ridiculous to me. So I like to keep the air defense like 2 tiles apart from any other building, just because the chains will be a little harder for the Super Dragons. And I'll do the same for the other side. It's kind of like symmetric design, essentially. So the eagle compartment now. Let's see this. So I did have the option to put Inferno towers in these compartments, but then that leaves the eagle pretty exposed. So I'm thinking Infernos with the eagle might be nice, especially on 2.5s. It would be hard. I think for Lala or any drag with both 2 multis covering it, it's a little pretty scary. So I'm going to make it to where you can't freeze all of it together. That way you're going to either have to freeze this or you're going to have to freeze the eagle. So at least less freeze value in terms of air or any Lala hits. And for Clan Castle, yeah, I'll protect the eagle too. Just since I'm having the expos up there, I'm most likely going to make like an expo compartment here and shift them to ground, just so there's more coverage. So with the CC, ideally, it makes sense pretty much right here, at least for me. Otherwise, this is pretty exposed, and with this, it's kind of like an offset CC. And if I put like a damage in here, like witches, headhunters, archers, and goblins, I think it'll be pretty good, especially if you're trying to charge here. For any water walk and smash, you're gonna have to pull it or end on this. So this compartment's pretty nice. So now for this compartment, let's make it 2 tiles because this splash for Super Dragons. I want to use my heroes to protect it, so I'm gonna use the King and the Warden together. That way it just gives DPS with the CC King and the Warden together. Let me shift this in. So mortars for the new flank machine. Most likely gonna do a mortar here as well. And then to finish the corner flank of it, I'm just gonna do like an air defense compartment. It's the same concept as this one, just because I've had many success trying to defend the drags with this. Let me close this off. There we go. And I'm going to do the same for the other side as well. Just so if anyone ever does charge up here in this range, I think the air defense placement is pretty nice. It's like tucked in the corner to where if you walk from here, you break in here. The queen should go down this way and kind of dodges it a little bit. to the expo compartments. Let's see. So this is where I'll just do the queen on one side and then the RC on the other side, just so it protects the cord a little bit. Also, I don't want to like have them exposed. And I'm gonna make this compartment to where it's kind of hard to wall breaker. Otherwise, it'd be too easy to get into this side and then just jump straight in here. And you can get all this. So that's why I think this setup is pretty nice, especially the Infernos being offset. Kind of makes it harder for smash, especially it's flanking the core really nicely. And then in addition to that, you have a single right here, which will make this entry less likely, which kind of forces them having to go into this side or up in here into the town hall. And so what I'm just going to do is just make it to where you can't break in here.
We have a question in chat.
Yes.
Starving Orphan is asking what you think is the most effective base in Legends. Is it the NT2s with the center town hall, or is the symmetrical / teaser base?
I think, in my opinion, symmetrical teaser bases do way more better than the NT2s at the moment. Especially with a lot of the rings, how compact they are. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. So, especially with how compact a lot of the rings are, and many people are using super drags, I just feel like it's crushing the ring bases right now. At least what I'm seeing. And then for this is why was kind of spreading out mine on this base. I'm kind of spreading out a lot of the buildings, as you can note. It's just a lot of 2 tiles apart, just because of the super drags. They're just way too easy. Like I was talking about, if you have a stacked core with the eagle and multi infernos and the expos there and the core and the heroes, not only the super dragons get so immense value, but in addition to that, you have the freeze value on top of that. So I think it's just a bonus for super dragons if you do compact ring bases. So I'm thinking with this setup, it'll be less appealing for super drags. It'll make like the attacker think a little more before they actually hit it. So, but yes, back to this. I was thinking about an expo compartment on both flanks, just so it's hard. I don't want this to be like easy accessible to wall break in here. So I'm just gonna do this. And I'm not gonna close the wall. I'm just gonna leave them open, just so you can't wall break it. So they'll either go here or they'll go here.
That's a funny question, actually.
Yep.
What wall level is your favorite?
I guess this low 15 walls are mine for now. I just like the look of it. I mean, especially if I'm Town Hall level 14, it just looks really good. It kind of balances out with the Town Hall theme. Anyways, back to this. I'm just going to do the same thing like I did with the expo compartment and the queen with the RC. So I'm just going to be doing the same. It's just symmetrical. Let's see if I have enough walls though if I do that. Yeah, it should be pretty good. So yeah, why the expo there? I just feel like it's a good, I don't want to put it right here because then it's not like, especially someone's like Sui heroes, if they're doing any spam, it's just like the expo would be a little too deep into the base to where the Sui is going to get more value. So I just thought right here maybe it covers a bit more, and it's harder to reach for the queen, especially since she's going to go in towards this side down here and kind of dodge the expo. Let's see. So we're working with pretty decent amount of walls. Not too bad. Yeah, usually a lot of these are like wall consuming, so I think with these walls, let's extend this. I think what I'm going to do is use some like right here. Kind of mess the pathing up so troops go around it. Instead of going in here, it kind of goes left or kind of goes right. Then you have to go into the core. Easier the path, or to predict the path. And I just do like springs on the side for ground spam. Oh, so multis. That's what I think. Use the wall. Yep, so you can't reach that. There we go. So yep, you can't reach that on the charge now.
We have another question asking with this
Yes.
exposed CC, if you're looking to have a hound CC or more of a damage CC, but you kind of covered that earlier, saying it would be a damage CC.
Yes, that's correct. I think more of a damage because, especially I think 2 witches, the headhunter, and the rest, it can be trash between archers and gobs. I think it'll be harder to lure everything out. It's going to be more expensive, especially if they're trying to do an attack from the opposite end. It's going to be harder to lure, and there's going to be more of a split. If that makes sense.
And also we had a question from Lars, but I didn't quite get it. It says maybe due to 2, it's unreachable from Expo comp. I don't really
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Oh, that compartment.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. This is what I did with the extra walls. I kind of made it unreachable, especially with any sewer charge then. Okay, perfect. I think with these, I'm going to do build a huts in here. In front of both, just so it gives that extra boost. Then I'm just going to add HP around here. Yes, that's not add a builder. Alright, so for trash, for me, in terms of trash, I like to cover the entire map just so there's no flaws, especially for dropping troop deployments. So I'm probably going to start off with this corner.
We kind of have another funny question, and this is: do you prefer the 7th anniversary cake or the 8th?
I prefer the 7th. 7th for me.
Here you go.
It's appealing to me. The 8th is just not really that appealing to me. The 7th, I think it's like more colorful, if I'm correct. So I prefer the 7th over the 8th all day. Alright, so I can't, so I'm gonna have to shift this down. Alright, so once I finish with the trash, I'll look into details in terms of trap placement. And like I said again, it's just going to be for like lower legends. I would say anything from 5,000 to 5,400. I think this would be a pretty good start. So once again, I mentioned about the trash. I like to cover the entire map. I'm not a fan of leaving any holes or gaps on the base. So I'm just going to do the cannons here. just so it's still reachable. Let's see this there. Sneaky got that.
So we have another question as well, is about the Tesla placement, which you're gonna go into now, I assume. Is
Yes.
it if you like to predict some, maybe like try to predict where they're gonna attack and try to bait that, or you just place on a Tesla on the kind of like a easy spot to kind of predict as well, or if you like to spread them out as well.
Kind of both. I'm leaning towards, like right now, if you look at it, there's a lot of potential Tesla farm placements. It's either can be in a dead zone here, or it could be an eagle, or by the single. I think by the eagle is a little too, like, not that much value in the eagle, so I was thinking more towards this area, especially since I have it covered up with HP. I think back end wise, right here would be pretty good. I'm not going to put all 5 here. I'm just going to do 3 Teslas here for now, because I'm going to look around with these other 2, because I was thinking maybe right here to pull any drags away from the core, especially if they go right into here, they'll split off and get pulled away from these Teslas. Haven't really decided on the 2, but right now I think to start off with, I like these 3, just to protect the single a little more. And since the CC is kind of offset on the back end, I think they will try to get the single down first if they were to charge it before learning the CC, then they'll pull it. But either way, this is why I recommended the damage, because if it's a split and, like, let's say I have witches, the witch is going to take their time to walk all the way across the base over here, while the skelly's just going to run over to the queen. It's going to force like a freeze or early poison, which can get ugly. So I think with the 3 Teslas here, it's good in terms of air, because I have 2 air expos, and I didn't want to put them ground, because I feel like this primary area is going to be where they end. So I'm just going to do 2 skellies around here. I like to do 2 ground, 2 air. I'm always a fan of split, especially for legends. That way you can defend both air and ground. And I think the air skellies maybe right here on both ends, so it pulls any air troops down at an angle instead of going straight through the base. And this is why I think these sweeper placements are going to be pretty good, because not only it protects this angle going into the eagle, protects going into the single, and it protects going in from here and from going in here. Now for the NATO spot, I'm thinking core, just because of the fact that there's a lot of people who still use clone, and with clone value in here, if you put a clone here and a clone here, it kind of decimates the core completely. So if NATO's is here, I think it'll be pretty good. And I think stacking the red bombs up here is pretty nice, especially if they go from the bottom, they run into the NATO, and then the loons get circled around into the poison and into the red bombs. 2 in front, and then I'll do the 5 behind. And the air skelly should pull them. Yeah, so mainly for Sams as well, I'm more into baiting the air hits more than like queen charges or any blimps for like Blizz. But I can't put like Sams here because they could just bump the eagle. And if the blimp pops in front of it, the Yetis go left and they go right. And then that's what's going to make the spring work. So I think a Sam here and a Sam here would be pretty good. Either way, I think with the Yetis, if they do Yeti bomb, the springs are going to be pretty good. And for hybrid, it's going to be pretty good. So for the last 2 tests, yeah, I think I like them here. Just to pull any pathing from going here. It just goes this way. Right, so for the Sams, Protracts. Okay, cool. Here. And for any blunts. Then the last two, I'll stick them right in the core. Yeah, right here's fine. Alright, so for giant bombs, usually for smash and usually for hybrid, those are the primary giant bomb spots, especially with this being the legends being this low. Early stages, I think giant bombs here would be nice. Yeah. And I'm not gonna try and protect the queen with the giant bombs much because the scatter expo is in the range of that. I just don't see much you can really stop. If I put one giant bomb, I don't think it will stop anything in here. So I'm thinking I want to protect more of the evil compartment in terms of hybrid as well. Giant bomb. I think I'm gonna load the rest in the core. For any smash, getting out of the poison and running into a giant bomb. Now for springs for hybrid, that's what I usually use the springs for, since hybrid is usually not likely, but it's still common in the low legend. So I think the area would be like right here would be pretty good for springs. And for the walls, how do I decide? Oh yeah, for wall breakers. So if I close this off, then the wall breaker prediction is pretty easy. Like it will take 2 breaks unless they walk these buildings are gone. So then it'll be breaking here because I don't want them to be able to predict how they go. So that's why I was thinking if I can protect it more, and you can't wall break that. This you can wall breaker, but these walls will still be here. And with the fact that this is still here, it makes the queen kind of go around it in here and then walk out and stay out. Yeah. But yeah, I just, especially for these single compartments too, wall breakers, I think these, like, I don't want to close this off entirely, just so, like, if they wall break like dead middle right here, everything's just gonna go dead middle. If I leave this open, then there's like more possibility of going here and then going this way and kind of like dodges this side a little bit and then circle back down that way. And like in terms of the air defense, yeah, same applies for that. Like wall breaking here, then the queen just steps in, but now that you can't wall break directly in the corner, she kind of steps out to the sides.
So Ghost Indy is asking, what about if the 2 extra Teslas that you put on the expo compartments, if you put on the sweepers to mess up Lalo pathing?
Like, I think you're meaning this. So if I do this, I was kind of worried about this just because of the fact of any like spam going from here. If they see the 2 Teslas, if the 2 Teslas are here, they're gonna just go straight in. Because if, let's say, bullet bounces from this and takes this down, then these will be up, and then they'll be able to go straight into the town hall. That's why I was thinking if I put it like off to the side, they'll go to this instead of going to the core. Since if any bounces kill the sweeper, then there's nothing can direct them into the town hall since it's a dead zone. I think if I put this in here, it kind of defeats the purpose of the dead zone. So I was thinking if I do this, this would be closer than going into here because of the walls. Kind of push them, shifts them left and shifts them right, and the Tesla will be the closest thing, and then I'll make the Expo the next closest thing. Yeah. I like the idea though. I thought of that. Yeah, it's just kind of defeats the purpose of the dead zone. That's why I think with the one sweeper alone, it's just enough for itself. And I didn't do it for this one just because I didn't want to put a sweeper there, and then it'll be easy to go straight in here with the wall breaker. Because if you warden walk this and you get one break there, next break is here, and you have access to everything. So I made it a 3x3 rather than making it a 4x4. Yes, I agree. The opposite's more likely. So now back for the strings, the hybrid. There's two options they could really, because they can really go into deal with the CC equal to multis first, or this would be the backend hybrid. So I think these two areas would be good for springs, because I feel like they're gonna want to get this down because you don't want to hybrid through here because you have two bomb towers. So I'm thinking a charge anywhere in this compartment or this compartment's likely. So I'm gonna try to split the springs between this compartment and this compartment. Except the test is like this. Now the springs won't work like that. To make it work for both entries, it'll go like this. So whether it's coming from here or here, the spring works. Yeah, so the skellies balance out with the Inferno. As soon as they step any range in that skelly, before they'll target that. Because if you have it too far out, like this, you'll deal with the skellies before you even get to the single. So I think back a little further back is nice. Yeah, so I think I'll split the springs 4 there, and I'll do 4, maybe 4 or 5 down here. Yeah. So since it's symmetrical, it can come from both ways. So that's why I'm just splitting the springs off so they work for both directions, regardless of which hybrid they do. They'll work on either way. If they're coming from here or down this side, or from here or from this side, the springs will work. I'm not too much of a fan of having springs working just for one side only. I like to make it symmetrical. So this extra one. Yeah, right. And so let's see. Yeah, I like to put my max balls anywhere where there's potential log launcher. In the event that someone does do it, I'll have that. So it protects the eagle a little bit better. So air defense is 2 tiles apart from anything around it. Yeah. I'll fix this one. Oh, yeah, if I move that, it makes the spring useless. Yeah, I'll keep it like this. Sweepers. So yeah, I think this is pretty good to start off with in Legends. Like I mentioned, I think the most common hits you're going to see is Drag Clone. You're going to see some random Yeti Smash. So I think with a 2.5 setup like this, not too compact, but also not too exposed on defense-wise, it looks pretty good. So if anyone has questions for this, I can go ahead and answer any of. Otherwise, I will move on to something more for the 5500 range.
Yeah, you can just pop your questions in chat again, and
Yep.
we'll ask them.
Yep, and I'll get to it. Yeah, same for the cocoa loons. Yeah, for these Sams, it'll work pretty good. Because if you drag straight into here, the loons go here, and here, and here. Kind of like dodge the Sams, so the Sams will work perfectly. And likewise for here, if you're going from the eagle or going into here, the Sams would be kind of delayed to where the loons would be dead by then. So those Sams work nicely, and same for these in here, for any direction you're going in.
I don't think we're seeing any questions on this one at the moment.
On this one.
You can move to the next base, yeah.
Yep, perfect. Alright, so for 5,500, this is where you see a lot more like queen charge hits, better players, but you still see the air spam. I kind of like to do sort of like a box base. It's kind of same concept with that NT 2.5, but more edged out town hall, just so there's not more potential blunts. So if I do like town hall here, I usually like to have the single behind it. I've played around with having it in front, but I haven't had that much success as I've had with the one being behind, because I think behind it protects the town hall more rather than if it's in front, you're easy to charge this. So I think with this one, I'm going to do behind the town hall. Just, it defends, it protects itself really well. Kind of defeats the purpose of a charge of going into the town hall. So I think I'm going to do like another core multi and one back here. Kind of like a regular box from current Legends.
So
a little different.
There's a question from Base Boss, which is what type of bases would defend Super Dragons?
I feel like box bases you're gonna have more success with box bases than you will with any other bases. Diamonds, I haven't had too much success defending it lately, so I've had more success with the box bases. Mainly because the box bases is harder to path into the core, especially with 3 Infernos lined up, it's really hard. And with having both of those Infernos stacked up like this, I just like to have the flanks like this with the scatters. And so I'm going to do the Town Hall compartment first, just because I want to work with what I have with trying to protect this single as much as I can. And with the single being there, people are going to try to blizz any direction for Town Hall as well. So I'm going to work with trying to fix that off right now. So I'm going to kind of like close off this wall just so the charge anywhere from here is not going to be too easy. So I'm just going to edge it out towards the Town Hall a little bit just so it protects, gives the purpose of that single why it's supposed to be there. I'll come back to this. And then same applies as that 2.5. I kind of like my air defenses kind of how they were. Maybe I'll do this. If I put air defense here, it kind of might be easier to blizz. So I might do this and put the expo here. Because I thought about putting an expo right here, but then it's too much clone value. So I'm going to limit that by putting the expo out here. And keeping the storage in there. So scatter compartment's gonna have to be deeper in like that. And I'll do the same for this side. It's kind of gonna be the same symmetrical style. And I think symmetrical are the way to go just because it's the same on both sides. There's not going to be a weak point to be able to depict from right off the bat, especially with 30 seconds to scout. I think symmetrical is going to be like one of the best ways to go with in Legends, since there's no like weak spots. So I'm going to want to protect the Town Hall in this single just a little bit more. I'm just going to do like a 3. I have to build a huts. Shift this up so I can make the scatter work. So pretty much like this, protecting, just so it's not going to be easy to go into the Town Hall, especially with double jumps. So I'll make it to where your double jump's not going to have to be enough to get through that. So for the core, I think CC might be best off right here. In terms of with the single, kind of makes a charge, and the Town Hall not likely anymore. Maybe evil here. Perfect. It's like a wall glitch there. So I kind of want to make sure it's that close enough to center, so it protects both entries, whether you're charging or plumping. So I don't want to make this too easy to wall breaker, so I'm just going to do like a little dead zone on both ends. So scatter compartments, yes, 2 tiles off from the dead zone, so you can't wall break. It's a good point, so you can't reach them from in here. Let's double check. There it is, centered. And I'm just gonna load this compartment up with HP, just so it's not easy to ward and walk, because a lot of people like to ward and walk the scatters on like a smash, or they ward and walk this area. And if I put like the air defense here, it's gonna be too easy to ward and walk. So I thought if I have an expo there, and make it a little scary, or at least like a rage. A rage would be used. Let's close this off. And I do the hero more towards this side. I'm gonna shift everything up C tiles. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to close that off. Yeah, that way it's close with this. There we go. All right.
So we have another question saying, what makes you decide to put that eagle in the core instead of like to the edge like town hall?
I mean, I could do this, but I kind of want to have the eagle more towards the core. That way it's not going to be easy for like smash or any spam going into the eagle. Because I think a lot of people like to go opposite of town hall with these drags. So I think I'm testing something out with a core eagle, just so it's harder to path to. And I'm going to fix these compartments to where everything paths and skips the eagle. And so Inferno, I'm going to work with this compartment. I'm going to kind of make this compartment to where you can't wall break too easily. Kind of make pathing a little bit awkward. Let's do this. And I'm going to use one king in the Warden Tower there. So yes, I think maybe a dead area. So wall breaker is going to go left or go right. So it kind of goes into the multi-weird if they're doing any charge or any smash into that compartment rather than going directly into here. And then to flank those off, I like to do the same idea like I have with the air defenses, 2 tiles apart. They just work better. It's harder for the dragons to path to it, in my opinion. And perfect, works perfect. 2 tiles apart from each other. Let's shift this down. There we go. Then likewise, I'll do the same for the top with the air defense compartment. Let me see that. Perfect. Walls. Let's see if I can know. Perfect. You can't snipe that, and you can't snipe both, right? So that's perfect. So then let's work with the scatters, because I did say I was going to load it up with HP. Just so it's going to be a little bit slower in terms of like Sui heroes. So I think from here the air spam goes to here. So keep the cannon there. So it makes the wall breaker go there. And I'm gonna do the same for Town Hall, just protect it a little bit more. Yeah, so I'm gonna traps. I'm kind of still trying to figure out any plans because I know clone stuff would be pretty good here, especially with both sweepers. You get Town Hall and this, so I'm thinking the NATOs definitely have to be behind it. Or if I do this, but then that'll be too easy to path into the core. So I kind of like the dead zone the way it is, because it protects it more. You have to use a wall here, so this can't be reached. So NATO definitely looks good there. I think Builder's gonna have to be behind the scatters. Yeah, I think I like these on air, especially for air hits. Any air hits would be pretty good. And both sweepers pointing away. So it makes it a little slower for any spam going into here, like the spam going into here, and mainly going into here. The pathing kind of shifts left and shifts right, kind of dodges the eagle. Whereas if I had the eagle in here with the Inferno, you get pretty good blunt value, and you go right into the eagle. Maybe Warden walk 12 or 9, smash forward, jump to equal, boom for Town Hall. Is it a wall breaker for here? Or and then you jump here?
No, it'd be smashed into a scatter.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah, jump here. That's why I think 3 ice golems would be pretty nice. So if the NATO is here, I think it can stop the blunt. Because if I put some springs to spring the Yetis and the Valks, or if you're doing I'm not sure how many do safe blunt, but I think Yeti are pretty much the go-to. So by the time they reach the Town Hall, they'll get spun into the NATO, and they're gonna go up and around. So I think the springs, yeah. Ground Skelly too. That way they kind of dodge the Town Hall. And then maybe Giant Bomb to help kill off. I think you're gonna have to invest the freeze regardless, but I think with the NATO there and the Skelly, I think it should spring. I think this is gonna require the testing to see. But yes, I think that smash is it's gonna be a pretty likely. Whether you ward and walk here or down here, I think right up here is gonna be more likely just because you don't have to waste a spell. Whereas down here, you most likely need a rage or freeze to get the expo to switch. And probably gonna have to double giant bomb it. Because you're gonna early tome, so the blunt makes it to Town Hall. And you take the jump and get double giant bombed. And the sands will have to be in the core too. I do. Because I don't want the Sams, I don't want the Coco Loons to be able to pull it, especially for blunts. For Blitz blunt, it's not going to be down here. Into here, you can get the CC pull, but that leaves the core. And the Sui Town Hall and the single's going to be a little sketch. And then this comp is going to be a little sketch too. So maybe don't test effect. Yeah, and I put two.
I think the common blizz would probably be for the Scala in one of the heroes.
Yep, that's
For
what
a
I think the
town or
common
Sui.
blizzard would be too.
Yeah.
But you get the expa too, then they'll try to Sui in here.
Mm-hmm.
I think with this double Skelly and then that NATO, I think will be perfect. Because of the single 2, you're gonna have to at least freeze it. Or I can probably swap this. Just so you can't, the queen doesn't hop here.
I can feel it somewhere inside, haunting like a drug I keep on wanting. There's a love
I'm gonna finish up the trash and then I'll get the traps together and look at it.
there's a reason I can feel my heart stop beating and the air gets tough just breathing. I'm alone but I'm still feeling like someone's with me. It's strange, I know, but I feel like you're here with me, like chasing ghosts. I know you're out there.
Yeah, I think the mortar's there as well. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. Get camp. Yeah, I think same applies for here. I like to cover the entire map. Just so there's no easy troop deployment from anywhere.
Feeling like your grip might slip too soon, but I'm running, chasing speed and gunning. I'll be right there all of a sudden.
Just the king in there.
I feel your heartbeat lead.
Just because the warden's already defense. And I use the king to protect the queen. I'm gonna finish these Teslas. I think Sui here is gonna be likely. Maybe use 2 Teslas to kind of draw the heroes out a little bit longer. Kind of stalls the Sui a bit. And then for the other 2 Teslas, I don't want to protect this a little bit more. But I don't want to throw like Teslas down. I think Tesla's literally in front of the town hall might be the better option. It protects the Sui and kind of ends on it if you're doing any hits going into here, like the smash someone mentioned, kind of end on the farm, which is pretty nice. So giant bombs in the core, I think mainly because of the smash. Any smash, I think it's going to go into any either scatter with the water walk for air defense and bumping town hall. I kind of talked about the NATO. And then springs. I think the springs would be helpful just because the Yetis kind of trips them. And I think I'm gonna stack the red bombs back here too. Just for the clone wounds. I think we're in front of it better. Now for air skellies, I do 2 ground, 2 air for almost all my legends bases. It's kind of well balanced. I think the air skellies might be okay too. Because any air spam, regardless, I think if they're going to scatter, it goes pulled down. It gets pulled down by the Builder Hut and the arrow bow, which is kind of not what you want on air, because then you have a single and a multi-flanking, and the core kind of like spaced off. That's why I didn't want to put anything that much in there. It's gonna basically, the Desmond works pretty well.
We have a question from Madav saying if because the red bombs are behind the NATO, won't the blimp take them before?
Yeah. Trying to see the clones be right there.
Also, another question was someone asking why you put the red bombs all around the town instead of around the eagle.
I'm thinking about splitting them just because of the clone value back here. So I'm just gonna put like maybe 4 here, and then I'll just put 3 back here. That way any Lala that moves back here gets hit by the red bomb. At the same time, I don't want a Howl flying from here and then downwards and tripping these. Maybe upper better. Yeah, I think upwards might be better. Yeah, I could do it here. There we go. Yeah, I'm not going to expect too much bullets going into here because of that. So I think I'm going to use those small bombs around the king and RC. Yeah, on the RC side. Yeah, work for both sides. Yeah, I'll work for both sides. Yeah, so I'm still trying to focus on the blunt because I think with clone balloons it gets pretty good value still. Because they'll be stuck in the poison anyway, so I don't think they'll get too much. The red bombs will be perfectly. Yeah, I think it'll be okay there. And these, I just don't want a Hound to fly through here and trip this. I think I need to move this away. Kind of put it behind. And this one, I think it's fine. Just for any regular straight up bumps. But yeah, if anyone has any questions in regarding to traps, hopefully I can answer those. If you want to drop those.
I'm waiting for Madhav to finish typing. So, Madhav put, wouldn't it be better to spread the Teslas around the same comp in the town hall? Like around the bomb tower to stop the same series since people get safe blimps on town hall, given a sweeper, something, whatever that last word was, Madhav.
Oh, safe bumping? I didn't know people would do that. I mean, I could just do. Are you talking about that?
I'm assuming so, maybe.
I just feel like this. It's not the two Teslas being there. It's pretty good because it makes the queen kind of skips going in and dodge could go out for the Tesla. She stays out and go for the Tesla.
Yeah. I think
Are you
that
talking
makes it
about
down.
Super Wiz blunt landing straight over this? Yeah, if they're trying to get the Town Hall with the Blizz, I think they could. And yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think that this kind of makes a queen stay out. Especially if they sneak in a Tesla pops up, they would be more inclined to loon it out. But then this Tesla keeps her out. She's going to have to go in this side.
I know it could be quite annoying actually. Over there is 2 red mines for anyone trying to throw some loons in to quickly rush the funnel in.
I kind of want to keep this for anything that goes in here. The red, yeah, I like the red bombs back here too. See, I think with this one, 3 ice golems might be a good call. I just like the 3 ice golems on this one, just because P.E.K.K.A Smash, it kind of stalls them for sure. Or 2 ice golem, 1 super minion, and 3 archers will work on this for sure.
The 3 IGs can also be annoying for Blizz as well.
Yeah, for Blizz, especially if they target it, it keeps them frozen.
Yeah, if anyone's got any more questions, ask them in chat.
And I kind of like to do 2 ground, 2 air bows as well, just because of the super dragons. And I think with this one being on air, might be okay. And these 2 on ground. Since if they're going to air spam, these 2 flanks would be good. And it'll probably stop the ward and walk too. Yeah, that new siege kind of iffy in pathing. That's why I think 2x2 is nice, just as the air defense. You can target like multiple defenses at once. So if anything, the siege might be a little. I mean, it will still get its value. I mean, if we're really wanting to, we can move the mortars inside. But I didn't want to do. I just didn't find a good solution for that. Because if I do move it inside, the shot on the archer tower kills it. So. And with the bow being there, I don't think they'll do it this side. They're going to be more inclined on this side, for sure. Yeah, I think the back end air bows, air for sure. And these ground, because if they're going to air spam, I don't see it coming from the scouters anymore. Either way they go from, it's going to kind of dodge the core with the hero setup. And then with the 2 air skelly setup, it kind of drags them away from the core, which is nice.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. I want to thank as well Ghost for building these 2 legend bases. We will be posting the bases later on in the chat once we have a spare second. We'll post both. Yeah, I want to just thank you guys for being here. Spare second, yes, shut up. I just want to thank everyone for being here, and and yeah, and hope if we don't see each other again or we don't talk, I hope everyone has a good new year. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.